Hello everyone, thank you so much for checking out another video by Show, Style, and Spirit. Tonight I'm going to be talking with you all about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 12, Episodes 1 and 2. So we're just 2 episodes in. This is my first video on New Jersey, Season 12, so I'm going to recap both of them. I think so far this season has been very eventful, very entertaining, so let's jump right in. Okay, so with episode 1, it opens up with Teresa, talking about her new relationship with Louis, how she finally sold her home after it's been on the market for 6 months, and she's talking with her daughters. I remember I used to watch New Jersey in the much earlier seasons, and I remember her daughters were so small. She used to always kind of fuss at Melania, and she would just always just say her name the most, like maybe she was kind of naughty. So those are like my funny memories of the show. But now they're all grown. It's amazing. They're gorgeous. And Teresa explains how Louis has 2 sons. They're basically like young adults. One still lives with him, so their families will blend. So now her daughters will live with, as one of them stated, 2 men. But a blended family, in my opinion, if it's rooted in love, the love is the reason why they're blending. I think that's awesome. Teresa and her daughters, again, they also talked about being a little bit upset with their Uncle Joe talking about their dad. And I'm really going to put a pin in this until we get to episode 2. And as you can see, I am reading from my notebook. I took lots of notes because, again, this season 12 of Real Housewives of New Jersey has been pretty explosive so far. So then we move on to Dolores. Dolores she looks like really tanned, long brown hair, almost looks like she's like a gym rat. She works out. I think she looks great. She's trying to finish her home renovations with 2 young adult kids. And they've graduated, so congratulations to them. So now they're back home. And I can remember after graduating from college, Michigan State University, go green, that's definitely a transition after, experiencing some freedom away at college. Now you're back home. But then to add to that, Dolores is still finishing up renovations. And it's so funny, I'm sure it's not funny for her, but the home is missing like doorknobs, paint, so she really wants to get that done. So I thought that was a funny scene. And now back to Louis, Teresa's new boyfriend. So there's been a video circulating with Teresa's boyfriend, Louis. Louis and other men are on a beach, and the men are cheering him on while he apologizes to a woman. Apparently on Twitter, lots of people commented on the video and said that it was kind of creepy. I think it sounds odd as well. And also with the Twitter backlash, I want to put a pin in that also, because social media almost seems like an additional character or an additional castmate on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. That was something that stuck out for me in both episodes, especially episode 1, on the large role that social media plays on this particular franchise. So Jennifer allegedly called Margaret a snake on IG. So again, it's Instagram posts, kind of like keyboard gangstering there, and we're going to talk more about that later. Also in episode 1, we meet a retired NFL player and sports commentator named Tiki Barber and his wife Tracy. They are friends with Joe and Melissa Gorga. And this is another memory that I remember of the Real Housewives of New Jersey when I used to watch the earlier seasons. I always felt like Melissa Gorga, she's so pretty, but she also reminded me of like an Italian version of the singer Aaliyah. I'm sure that's like an unpopular opinion, but that was just what I got when I looked at her. But anyway, Tiki and Tracy, they were very open about their relationship dynamic. So Tiki was married previously, and he has 4 kids with his ex-wife. Tracy broke all that down, and she stated how they started dating. They met on the Today Show, I believe. And they started dating when Tiki was separated from his wife for about 4 or 5 months. So Tracy said that although he was separated, there were rumors swirling that I guess she was kind of like the other woman and broke them up. So she really wanted to make that clear. So obviously he did divorce his ex-wife because he's married to Tracy. Now, I've never wanted to date someone who was separated. I can remember going to a friend's baby shower, and she had a mutual friend who was a male. He was separated. He wanted to talk to me, and initially, I was like, oh, okay, sure, we can exchange numbers. But then I thought about it. I just didn't want to get emotionally invested with someone who may not ever divorce their spouse. So I didn't communicate with him any further. And when I've been on dating sites, definitely men who are separated, they're always so super eager to, meet someone, to date seriously, but, dude, you're married. Okay, so, but that's just me. So now moving on, we're going to talk about Jennifer and her husband, Bill. So Jennifer's husband, Bill, is a surgeon, and he performed a tummy tuck on Jennifer, I guess in recent years, but in the past. And he did not want to have his wife as a patient again. So she actually explained how she went to Turkey to visit her brother, but also had her nose and her chin done. So I thought that was very interesting. That was kind of like the opener. She had on the bandages across her nose, and her daughter said, oh, you could use that for your Halloween costume as someone with a botched surgery. I thought it was a hilarious joke. Of course, Jennifer did not like that. So more social media, keyboard gangstering. Melissa Gorga called out Jennifer for being a hypocrite, and Jennifer fired back, posting on IG that Melissa Gorga's family, they are crooks. So, these are some very strong allegations. Of course, no one likes to be judged or fronted on for being, an alleged hypocrite or an alleged crook. But again, that is social media being like a leading force, another castmate on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So back to Teresa. Teresa let her brother Joe know that Louis did not like what Joe said about him at an Atlantic City show. It looks like it was almost like one of those comedic roast, and Joe Gorga was asked a series of questions. And one of them was in relation to Teresa's new boyfriend, Louis. So he made jokes about him, and Teresa let him know that her new boyfriend, Louis, didn't like that, of course. And I think that's a pretty human, pretty natural response. If someone, is kind of poking fun, nobody wants to be the butt of a joke. So now it's time for Teresa's pool party. We're still in episode 1. And Joe decides to go to the party. Joe Gorga, Teresa's brother, who's married to Melissa. Melissa points out how their family always pushes things under the rug, but the problem never goes away. I think that that's a shared behavior amongst many families. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments if you agree with Melissa Gorga about sweeping things under the rug, but the problem never goes away, or even do you think that's like a shared dynamic amongst many families? I would have to say yes. Sometimes, you just want to enjoy your weekend, enjoy the holiday, enjoy the people that you're around. So you kind of don't always want to address every negative thing, but because it goes unaddressed, it festers, which could lead to a big blow up. So I could totally relate to Melissa when she said that in her confessional. So the Margaret character. Now Margaret is the lady, she has like the platinum blonde hair. What I found about her is that she is very direct. In episode 1 at Teresa's pool party, she said to Teresa that Louis should address that video that I mentioned a few minutes earlier, the creepy looking video. Teresa said Louis doesn't have to, and I have to agree with Teresa, especially when you are an adult. You don't really owe anyone an explanation. It would be totally your choice to explain anything about yourself. I always believe in you want to do what makes you comfortable and happy. So, but Margaret, I respect her being direct and always expressing her opinions, but sometimes that assertion that we have, it should just be directed towards ourselves and our own lives to improve whatever it is that we would like to work on. But, she was direct about something that Louis needs to do. Okay, so at the pool party, the energy takes a shift once Jennifer and Bill arrive. That was something that I noticed. So Jackie tells Jennifer one-on-one about her not liking Jennifer bringing up a cheating rumor about Jackie's husband, Frank. Jackie is another blonde. She looks like she's tall and, lovely figure. She seems like she has a very sweet spirit. So I'm going to circle back around to her sweet spirit once I recap episode 2. Okay, so when Jackie tells Jennifer, I didn't like you trying to bring up a cheating rumor about my husband, Jennifer tried to cry. In my opinion, I think that that's definitely a deflection. And Margaret walks up in the middle of their conversation, and Margaret said that Jennifer is dishonest because Jennifer called Margaret a snake on Instagram. So Margaret, again, is very direct, and so her and Jennifer, they just bump heads. So Bravo, actually, in episode 1, they did flashbacks to 2019 when Jennifer went in on Margaret's cheating. She even talked about her mom. And you know how people are about their mamas, honey. We don't go there. So that was the end of episode 1. It was a huge blow up. And Margaret tries to say, Jennifer, you're no better when your husband cheated on you. And I think Margaret used the word a coworker or someone in the office. And Jennifer goes, well, he cheated with a pharmaceutical rep. If you're going to say it, get the story straight. So now we head on into episode 2, and this episode starts off where episode 1 left off, which was Teresa's pool party and Jennifer and Margaret getting into it about who cheated on who, okay? So Bill cheated on Jennifer with the pharmaceutical rep. Margaret confronted Jennifer with her husband's adultery. Other ladies knew about it from Margaret. So we learned in episode 2 that Jackie said that Margaret explained to her that Jennifer's husband was cheating. I'm not sure why Margaret was so worried about it, but that's what Jackie said. And the ones who have been cheated on were compassionate and didn't bring it up to Jennifer because they did not want to trigger any hurtful feelings. And so Teresa's brother, Joe, doesn't care for Jennifer because she called him a crook on social media. Remember, just minutes earlier, I did talk about that and how social media seems to be like a leading castmate on this show during episode 1 that really struck out to me. Teresa's daughter, Gia, is 20 years old and is mad at her Uncle Joe for talking about her dad. As you know, in previous seasons, I won't get too deeply into it, but there were some legal troubles with Teresa and her husband, and he has been deported back to Italy. And I want to talk for a moment about Gia, and this is something that I also want you all to discuss in the comments. So in episode 2, Gia was very vocal with her uncle. And I get that Gia is 20 years old. She is a young adult, and she loves her dad, as she should. I just grew up in a family where, I was the baby. My siblings are a lot older. So I was often around people who were basically like adults, at least to me, even when they were teenagers. So I heard a lot of adult conversation. And if I would try to interject as a child, I was always told, stay out of grown folks' business. So now I know that Gia is 20. I totally get it. But even when I was 20 years old, the next sibling next to me was 32. And my siblings, they were married, divorced, with kids, blah, blah, blah. So I was just always kind of very aware of my position, at least in the family. I won't say in the world, but at least in my immediate family. So I just wasn't used to like a young adult who still needs your mom to provide for you. You can't do everything legally. You're just 20. I was just so shocked to see how she was vocally coming at her Uncle Joe. They ended up talking it out and squashing it, so that was good. But that just kind of stuck out for me. So let me know in the comments, did you feel like Gia wasn't really out of bounds with how she was talking to her uncle? And did you too grow up in a family where even at 20 years old, you probably really couldn't have approached your uncle the way that she did her Uncle Joe? So fast forward in episode 2, Jennifer has a pool party for her daughter Olivia. She said her husband won't go outside to the party because Margaret embarrassed him at Teresa's home. So I feel like with Bill, it's not really that you're embarrassed because your past mistakes was brought up at Teresa's pool party. Or to me, it's misguided. If there is any embarrassment, it should be because you cheated on your wife, the mother of your 4 kids, So in episode 2, she tells about the events leading up to her learning about the adultery, finding receipts where he was hanging out with the mistress, popping bottles, and then she, of course, discovered a text message. But I just kind of felt like, for him to just like stay upstairs in his house and not come down and make small talk with the guest at his daughter's pool party, I just thought that was kind of weak, kind of like a cop-out because, of the mistake that you made in disrespecting your marriage. But, that's just me. So I thought Olivia's pool party, I thought it was really cool. An ice cream truck rolled up, and of course she had like a slide. I don't have any kids, so it's like the not a jungle gym, but when people have those outdoor parties and they bring the thing on the grass and people, not a trampoline, but it's kind of like you can go in it and jump up and down. It was kind of like the same sort of thing, but it was a slide. I thought that was really cool. So Teresa didn't like the drama being stirred at her party and judged Margaret's actions for bringing it up. But she did the exact same thing to Jackie and Evan when she repeated a rumor, I guess in the previous season or recent seasons. So now, none of us are stupid. We're not idiots. We know that with reality TV, it is the cast's job to bring up kind of unflattering rumors or actual events to stir up drama and, arguments on the show. So we know that's why Teresa brought up the rumor about Jackie. So, that's that. Okay, so Margaret met with Dolores at a home decor store because, again, Dolores is renovating her home. And, of course, they talked about Teresa's pool party from episode 1. So I respect Dolores for being honest with Margaret up front. She actually told her that she thought Margaret was out of pocket for, just bringing up Jennifer's husband cheating past. But Margaret doubled down on her actions, saying that Jennifer is a hypocrite. So I get it when someone is tired of taking the high road, you kind of want to act a little petty with someone who's been disrespectful, like Mariah Huck from Married to Medicine said, when they go low, I go a little lower. I kind of felt like Margaret went a little lower. But, sometimes you're human. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to always take that high road. So I kind of give her like a little bit of grace on that. So according to Margaret, allegedly, Jennifer was trying to get proof that Frank cheated on Jackie. But Jennifer is trying to have an ally with Jackie. So this is in episode 2. So remember when I was recapping episode 1 some minutes ago, I talked about how once Jennifer and Bill arrived to Teresa's pool party, Jackie walked up to her very respectfully, one-on-one. She didn't front on her in front of all the other women. She said, I didn't like it when you brought up that cheating rumor about my husband. And remember I said Jennifer tried to cry and deflect? Well, in episode 2, Jennifer invited Jackie over her house. She was getting emotional again, and she wanted to create an ally with her because she was feeling fronted on once Margaret brought up the cheating rumor. So again, like I said when I was recapping episode 1, Jackie comes off like a sweet spirit. I just hope that she has discernment, because to me, in my opinion, allegedly, Jennifer is coming off a little fake. So, Jackie said the rumors about her husband, Frank, that's Jackie's husband, wasn't true. Even if they were true, it's not Jennifer's place to shine a light on someone else's marriage. That was my note. Like, I'm happy for Jackie that she has not been cheated on, by her husband Frank, that those were just rumors. But even if it was true, that's Jackie's story to tell if she wants to, not anyone else's. Dolores has a housewarming. Dolores and David haven't been spending that much time together, and so the women ask her if she's open to meeting someone new. Melissa thinks it's a wrap between Dolores and her. I don't know if they're married or he's her boyfriend, David. So I have to see, again, I watched the early seasons of New Jersey. So I actually want to binge watch the past few seasons, because that is where you see, it looks like back in 2019, that's where you see the breakdown in the friendship between Jennifer and Margaret. So I do want to go back a few seasons, like maybe like seasons 9, 10, and 11, just to see what led us up to this point. So, again, back to Dolores, I can't really make that, sort of judgment call about their relationship. I'm still getting to know them. Jennifer couldn't be in the same room as Margaret. It seemed fake. So this is at Dolores's housewarming. And Dolores called Jennifer out, basically saying, put on your big girl panties. I know that Margaret fronted on you about your husband cheating, but you can stand in the same room with her, and then also you're getting paid to, hello, we're not dumb. So Dolores Margaret, flat out asked Jennifer, why are you crying? So Jennifer shows up at Dolores's housewarming, and she can't be in the same room as Margaret, and then she's crying in another room. So Margaret says, why are you crying? She told her flat out, you're a hypocrite. So basically you can dish out trying to find rumors if people are cheating and telling Margaret about who she cheated on, but when it's brought back to you about what happens in your household, in your marriage, you can't take it. So Jennifer ended up confessing that she tried to get information about an alleged affair that Frank allegedly would have happened on Jackie. And Jackie became upset. Jackie gives Jennifer grace because she knows that her husband actually cheated. So, Jackie, I kind of felt like she kind of gave some sweet shade in her confessional in episode 2. She did say, it turns out with my husband, it was just a rumor, but Jennifer's husband actually cheated. So, but anyway, she gives her grace. So far, I really, really like Jackie. Teresa asked, why did she catch hell for talking about the Frank rumor, but it's okay for Margaret to confront Jennifer? Margaret rehashed how Jennifer judged her for cheating, but has mess in her own backyard. And then that's when, Jennifer gets mad and storms out of Dolores's housewarming. So, again, I thought like the first 2 episodes, they have been entertaining right out the bat. You can still watch episode 1 on Bravo's website, bravotv.com. And, just let me know in the comments, was Gia at 20 years old okay to go at her Uncle Joe the way that she did, verbally? Did you grow up in a family where that was okay? And let's talk about it. So thanks again for watching this video. Definitely please subscribe. I'm going to review, some other shows, of course, and talk about my lock journey. I am approaching basically 4 months, 17 weeks this weekend locked, and I'm getting a retwist, so then I'll post another video. Thank you so much, and you all take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.